Hello everyone and welcome to our project where we build a CRM system from scratch. So let's continue our journey here. So today for me is October 22 and a good idea would be to actually implement working with dates properly now, because why not, right? So let's start our bond server and everything else. Right. Okay. So first we have dates over here and we want them to be working. Right. So implement date format for the card timeline. Right. So for the card timeline we have event which has date. So let's first of all see how I can format. What do we have here? There are many ways to format a date as a string. The JavaScript specification only specifies one format to be universally supported, the date time string format. Okay, that's not the one we want. Various components can be omitted, so the following are all valid. Datetime form, one of the above date-only forms, followed by T, followed by HHMM, and this thing. Each combination can be followed by a time zone offset. Okay. And I need to write. How do I want to write that? So, we don't have this guy yet. So we should actually do that, right? For dates, we just print the date, the time, right? The time. To do the time, it's probably just like that, right? So we can do the time with similar stuff. So how do I actually format? Like they explain the format. I don't quite get it. Can I specify a format here? No. Two times string. Whoa, that's interesting. So I'm curious what people do. Okay, so there is a datetime format. Okay, so you do new datetime format, you specify a locale, and you do format. Okay, date style, time zone. Okay, how do I skip everything except the time? Okay. So this is what I want, almost, right? Okay, let's see. Let's try this one. So basically, I can say new Intel datetime format. Then I can say options, our numeric format, new date. Okay, that's good. Now I wanna say how do they format without the date? What do I do to omit stuff? Okay, so I guess that's all I can do, right? Oh, you can pass false. Hour 12. And what do I do is like year? Can I do like false for year or if I specify like this, hour, minute and second, hour, minute and second, and time zone, I don't quite get how they can produce this stuff. So if I say time zone Australia, Sydney, and I say time zone time zone name short, and then I say this guy, invalid time value. Oh, so when I specify the time zone name, now I have that's interesting. If I don't specify time zone name, I have date. If I do specify time zone name, I have time. That's weird. Can I just get time? I don't like this. So complicated. Format to parts. Oh my god, what is that? Oh, nice. Format to parts. So now I can skip the time zone name and all of this shit and just do format to parts, and then I can get oh, it doesn't have the time. No, I don't know, why do I need this? Can I just get like from the date, get day, and that's it? And basically not date, get hours, right? And that's it, like get hours, then put column, and then get minutes, you know, like that. And I'm good. And maybe like do this, you know. Let's do that, because the one that they propose, it's so complicated. It involves some like time zone stuff, some like format to parts. That's terrible. Okay, so let's format here. Right. Let's do the following. We have our event. We have our date here. Let's get the hours. And then say, and let's get the minutes as well. And then we say hours less than 10. Then we add 0, otherwise empty string, plus hours, plus column, plus minutes less than 10. Then we get 0, otherwise empty string, plus minutes, and that's gonna be a date string. Right? Something like that. And this line is so simple, everyone understands it. Why do you need documentation for that and like so complicated stuff? I don't know. This is good enough. And then if it's like, is hours in the format of let's see. Let's see. Where is the default? Okay, this is the default. Let's put it back in the timeline. Okay, so we have our stuff here, which I don't particularly like because it's the same. It's the same. So we need a way to at least create different dates, right? Create different dates in the test data. We have our test data, but it's like we have it here, and it's coming from where it's coming from. Okay, so we have it over here. So we need a way to create date. How do we create date? Constructor, right? Okay, so I can specify stuff in the constructor like that. So let's do that, right? Month index. Does it mean it starts with 0 or does it mean it starts with 1? Beginning from 0 till 11. Okay. So let's do like 9. Then it's gonna be day. Then let's do like 20. Then hours, like 9 hours is from 0. So let's do 8. Minutes, 5 minutes, and I don't care about seconds now. So let's use that as a template for everywhere, for all the timeline events, and then we can just adjust some like minutes, or wait, what it is? Yeah, it's minutes. Right, then we can say, oh yeah, so it has to be like from the newest to the oldest, right? So we will be just yeah, we will be just like, we can change the day here and say like it's 12 o'clock, and then this is like 10, 9 meaning like it starts from 0, so it's 10, 15, then it's gonna be like 10, 7, the same day, and then the previous day will be like 11, 25, and like, yeah, 9, 10. Something that looks different and at least real. Okay, and then we wanna do like okay, so let's maybe add some evening time as well, so it can be like 15 and 13. Okay, and now we can check if plus space plus hours more than 11, then it's PM, otherwise it's AM, something like that. What is wrong here? Oh, sorry for that. Okay, And if it's yeah, that's fine. So I guess for this place the date format is done. We will need still this date, which is actually important. So maybe let's do it. Let's do it. So the way to do it, right now we have in the timeline, we have like different events, and we iterate over those events, right? And we render timeline event. So we want to render a date for every new date. So every new date that was not there before, we want to actually render it. Oh, and you see, it's not only because I have like hard-coded today, but it's actually not that. Yeah. So it's actual date that I will need to change. That's fine. So basically in the loop we should get a date and then see if we did not let's see. So we should get a date and then on the every iteration take the next date, and if it's different from our current date we should like understand, okay, we are now moving to a new date, so let's print our previous date and move on to the next one. And if it's the last one, the last record, then let's print the date as well, right? So let's do exactly that. Date current equals wait, let's first of all iterate with index, right? Then event will be like that, and then date current will be like that. Well, yeah. So, and we can say that if event date not equals date current, we want to actually render well, maybe we want to do it in the rendering function, because we will be inserting events into the timeline and we need this logic to continue working even if we do it on the every next event that we just inserted. So yeah, we actually want this logic to be inside, and that's easy to do. So here, right, we should just take the card timeline and find where we stand in the timeline with this event. And this event should have like some kind of ID, I guess. Oh, it has a date. It has date. Well, We probably need to help it a little bit to say that date. We need to pass like a previous date that is like the date that was before that. So date before this event. Date previous event. Date event previous, something like that, right? And we will just pass it over here, date current, right? And it can be undefined, that's fine, right? And over here we will pass it so this is a new event, and we kind of call this function, which is like creating a new event and inserting it into the timeline, and it should return actually return a date that was before that. Well, maybe we don't need to return a date that was before that. We can just do car timeline. Yeah, we can just do like car timeline, one date, event previous, right, like that, and you can just pass it over here, right? And we can do the same over here as well, right? Yeah. So now we are passing this date to all the calls of this function, and here, if the current event that we are trying to render is has different date, has different day or month or year from the previous one, we want to render it, right? After all of that, so we do like a row, and we want to say like if event date year more than date event previous. Well, first of all, previous is not undefined, and then more than previous full year. No, that's not a good way to do it. Compare date only date. So the good way, yeah, would be just to set to 0 everything, and then, so for example, here it would be like date current event, date event current, new date event date, get full year, event date, get month, and event date, get day, right? And then no time, date event previous, no time, same stuff, but date event previous, right? Okay, and then we can say like if date event current no time, get time more than date event previous, no time, get time, then we actually want to maybe render maybe a date, a new date, a date row. Right. So basically here we create a row, right? It will be like a next row, basically. And then inside of that, we should create a dot. Like that. Well, we should basically do the same stuff as here, right? Yeah, exactly the same stuff. So let's reuse it. Yeah, so this is a function that is good to reuse. We can say render timeline date and just put it over here and return it like that, and we can reuse it. But first of all, let's do a render timeline event, date. So it works the same way it was working before. And now let's just reuse it over here. So let's say render timeline date and just return it. Maybe we will return an array of this thing. Well, I don't particularly like how this function cares about rendering, calling another function. I don't like that. They should be like on the same level of abstraction. And whoever calls this guy, yeah. So I would rather take it out into a function that render timeline date next. Let's see. So this is a dumb function that just renders all the time. Right. So it's just a template basically. And if needed, something stupid like that. And we will say date event previous and date event current, right? So it will return this rendered row. Well, we can just do that. Or it can return undefined. Well, we can return undefined if it's undefined immediately, right? And then we can do like that. Okay, and so we can say basically div date render timeline date if needed, and it will be date event previous, and then date event current. So it will be CRM card event new date, right? And basically if it's not undefined, we will do it like that. Okay, and we will do the same stuff for this place as well. We will do like that. Well, basically just copy this code, right? insert, and basically the same stuff here. Right. And that way we do not do like, well, and here as well probably. Maybe we can say like date event previous. And in this case we need to do it before inserting the row, I guess. Like that. And then we wanna actually save it on every iteration, I guess. It will be like event date, right? So that way we take the first date, we render the event here. Then if this guy is not undefined, it means that it's like the second iteration, for example, with the new date, we render it. And if it's the same, which is like first iteration, we do nothing here, we append the row, and then we take this date and save it as a previous one. Then we take the next event, we take the date of that event and pass it over here. And if it's a new event, then we will get a row which we will append to the timeline, and then we append our row and we update the event. Yeah, that seems okay to me. That seems okay to me, but not working, I guess. So let's see. Let's debug it. Date event previous. Date previous is date event previous, and date current is the event date, and row date like that. So it's all undefined, which is not good, right? Because okay, here it's the same date, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Then it's so we are comparing the dates, like let's see how we are comparing the dates. Basically we take the previous, and the previous should be actually bigger and not smaller, so we should do like that, I guess. Okay, so we have it over here, which is good, but we are not appending it properly, I guess. Where is it? Yeah, we did not append it anywhere, which is not good. Oh, yeah, that's wrong variable. Okay, so we have it here now. Okay, that's nice. Now, we want to render actual date instead of dummy today, right? So now we want to say that we will pass okay, we have this function which should actually receive date, right? And it should actually take it and say it should say like month, then the day, then comma, and year, right? Can we just do like get to date string, what it will return to us? Can read properties of undefined. Oh, I'm not passing anything. Okay. Yeah, so it can be like that. Yeah, we will need to fix that. And then it can be date event current, right? Basically 2 places where we call it. Okay, so we have this date string, which is fine. Yeah, I guess it's fine. I even like it more than this one because it doesn't say which day it is. Yeah, I guess that's already good enough, right? That's already good enough. Okay, and then render today if it's actually today, right? So here we wanna know if it's today, right? And today is if it's like date get year equals full year, and then if date month equals month and get date equals get date, right? And if all of that is equals, then it's today. If it's today, then date str equals today. Otherwise, it equals that string, right? So now we have today here and we have specific dates. Okay. One thing that I want to do here is actually add a comma over here. I'm not sure how to do it, to be honest. Does it depend on the date to date string with comma? Add comma between date and time. So people suggesting some libraries, but to locale date string. Oh, maybe that's what I want to do. To locale date string, and if I use some okay, so that's too short for me, to be honest. That's too short. Options. Oh, I can use options as well. I can say the month should be long. Not that long. Short maybe. Okay, short. Then it should be the day should be numeric, right? Okay, and then we can say year should be numeric as well. Oh, now it's nice. Now it has comma. What the hell? Why? I don't know why now it has comma, because it's not obvious from this code that it will have comma. Anyway, so that's good. Maybe we wanna say weekday as well. We wanna say weekday short, like that. So now we have a nice weekday and month and stuff. And yeah, that's nice. And let's maybe make it slightly smaller, the text size, like that. Well, maybe we can say, oh, it's already font light. Maybe we can do font extra light. I want a font extra light, like that. Is it any difference? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, font extra light is cool. It's the best. The best of the best. Okay. So that's cool. That's cool. And if I do test if adding a new if adding event with a new date actually renders this date. So that's what we wanna check, right? So over here in the loop, let's maybe do here change slightly. So basically this guy will be 20 and then these guys will be 19, right? Okay. Is the date? Oh, so it's actually should be like yeah. So this is October 19, which is correct, and then this is October 20, which is not today. So we want to fix that. Let's see. So October 22 is today. Well, yeah, October 22 is today, but in the date, in the test data, I don't have October 22. So that's not good. Why do I have October 22? Event date, right? Event date. So I'm passing the current, and current is this guy. So let's see. Well, I don't have here October 22, I have October 20. How does it happen then? How does it happen then? I pass it over here. Okay. So I'm passing October 20. And then I'm calling it. Well, maybe let's use debugger because that's a better tool here, right? So I'm passing October 20, and let's see. Well, yeah, let's put debugger over here. So I'm passing October, current is October 19 and previous October 20. And now I wanna render timeline date. And here I wanna say, yeah, I wanna see what is going on. Is today false? Okay, let's go inside of this guy. Is today true? Which is not good at all. Oh yeah, it's today. Oh yeah, now I see the problem clearly. Of course, guys, that's what we do. So this is the problem, right? This is the problem basically. Maybe I don't need it. I can just do like that, and then if well, in my logic, it's actually should be like that, I guess. Right? But why can't I just render it in one place? I don't quite understand this. Yeah, I guess I don't need this anymore because I will be inserting new events and I don't want it to be like some special kind of element, right? Yeah, so we don't need this special kind of date row anymore. We will render them as a part of regular flow. So let's remove it. Right, we are removing it from here, and now we need to make sure we render it. So the previous one is like that. So basically we don't render the last. Okay, we should render date for the last event in the timeline. That's what we don't do now. Alright, that's what we don't do. So in the timeline, if it's last, meaning so this function should actually is last, is newest, I guess. I would say it's is top, is latest event, right? And if it is, well, yeah, let's do the following. Yeah, let's do like if it's latest, we do this code. If it's not latest, we start calculating the dates and stuff. So every time we create a new event, it's always a latest event. And here it's latest only if I equals length -1. Right. What the hell is that? Okay, let's see. I length okay, that's correct. Oh yeah. So whenever it's latest, what the hell? So we so latest should be like if it's 0, right? That's how it should be, right? Okay, now it's correct. We have 2 events for this date, and then we have 3 events for that date. And if we create a new event right now, so if we go ahead and change field, for example, right, it's today. But then if I change it back again, like it will be a problem, because it will be the same kind of yeah, that's a problem. So whenever we create a new event, if it's latest, but wait, I guess there should not be any specific logic, right? It should be just I mean, yeah, if it's latest event, yeah, we should render the date, of course, if we have not rendered it yet, I guess. That's my point. It's like this works fine, and then if we are rendering a new event, if a previous event has the same date, if it has the same date, well, here's the point. Like when creating, yeah, we should not render a date, right? Because that's the flow. Like initially, if it's the latest event, this one, and then we know that we don't have a date yet, so we render it. But when we create a new event on a button like that, we know that, like C for example, we know that we need to take a look at the previous event, and if it's the same date as, if it's also today basically, or yeah, if it's the same date, we don't need to render the date row basically. Right. So that's interesting. That's a little bit different. So basically, we probably should not have this over here. We only should have it like that. If it's undefined, if it's a latest event, then we assign anyway. Right. And then like that. And if it's basically existing, we now render it. So that way we have it like that, and if we change it to that, we need to check. We need to check for if you render a new event, if a previous event has the same date, we should only render if it's a different date, right? Here. So let's see. So if needed is now a bad name basically, but we will need to change that. Well, it should render actually, right? It should actually render. Previous was that guy, and current is that guy, and render like that. So if we create a new event, we see that the previous is October 20 and current is October 20, so that's no good. Oh, sorry guys for that. That's my bad. Okay. B. So we have previous October 20, current October 22, and we do not render. That's no good. So is it that this logic should be like that? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I confused everything now. Now I confused everything. I guess a good way would be to render this from the end till the beginning. And that way we'll have the same logic here. Because this condition is good if you're rendering from the beginning to the end. Yeah. So we want to do the same. We want to render, because we render twice, right? Once on initial render and once every time we create a new event. On initial render, we render from the beginning of the array till the end. But on every next creation of the event, we render just the first element, right? And we prepend instead of appending. And it's like a different order of operation, and it's confusing. And that's exactly what happened with me. It's like I got confused, and that's fine. And now I see that it's confusing, and I can change that, right? So one way of changing that, change the order of how we render events. Render from the very bottom and prepend till we get to the very top event, right? One way we could do it is change the order of the array, the data. Well, we actually don't care about that. The order of data is fine. We just need to go through this data in a different direction, basically. So we want to go from length -1 till more than 0, I minus minus, and the previous would be like that. We render a row, we prepend this row into the timeline, and then we render row date, and let's comment out this piece of code for now. And then if it's not undefined, we prepend it as well. Let's see. Okay. So we go through every event, right? And we prepend all this stuff and we try to render, and it's actually not rendering properly, so this is better way. We actually have to render the date should be let's see. Yeah, so that's the correct one. So here we should say October 19 actually. We should say like that, right? So we render timeline event, we render date if needed. Well, I don't like this if needed, yeah, I already said that before, I guess. So I don't like this function at all. I have so many problems with it. So maybe, just maybe, we can say that, yeah, so basically a logic is slightly different in two cases. On initial load, I should render date if the current one is more. Well, yeah, it's the same logic, I guess. Is more, and if it's latest, it's like that. Like that, and then B, yeah, so basically we are rendering slightly different stuff. On creation, on initial render, we are rendering the previous event. That's what we want to render, the previous event. And on inserting new event, we should render the current one, right? So that's no good. Whoa, that's even more problems here. So, that's even more problems. Yeah, just completely different flow. I don't wanna have same function for that, to be honest. To be honest with you guys. I don't wanna try to fit it in the same flow. So, to solve that issue, we want to avoid calling this function at all for now. We can just put some code over here and say that if date event, okay, so we will be initializing this guy, right? We will be initializing this guy. If it's like that, then yeah, it will be slightly different flow. So basically date event current, it's just event date event previous, then we just compare, and if it's good, it's good. Like that, right? And otherwise, if event is latest, it just goes over here, right? If it's latest, we also render it. Okay, that's nice. Next, we wanna change that like this. So now if I change event, it's today, and if I change it more, we're not inserting anything, but we should actually insert it after the first row, right? So we changed the order, we tested this guy. When we create a new event, we should append it after the first date row if we are not rendering the date, right? If we are rendering the date, then all good. We are inserting the date row and then we inserted the event. But if we are not rendering the date, then we should actually do slightly different stuff, right? We should do slightly different stuff. How to insert after the like that, probably. Oh. Oh. Yeah, it should stay the same, but div row, if it's not undefined, then we do prepend the div row, and then we prepend the div row date. But if it is undefined, then we take this guy, we take the first element, after that element, we do it like that. So that's the way to go, right? And let's do the same stuff. So basically this function will be now only for calling after we can simplify the main flow as well, so it uses the same function, I guess, but yeah, we can simplify that. Yeah. Okay. Let's get it done like that. And then let's simplify the main flow rendering. I would say that let's save our code that works. Right, let's review it. So we have our stuff here. A function that renders date in the timeline, which is nice. Which is very, very nice. And then we implemented the date format, which is really cool. We have this function, which I don't really like how it's named. Maybe let's rename it. So basically we are rendering date yeah, that's fine. That's fine, guys. Okay, and then if we change the flow, how we render every new event, right? We take the date that was previous and we render, and then we kind of know how to mutate the DOM. Then we change the date, the data set, and then we have this stuff that we don't ever need anymore. Oh, and we also don't need timeline rest, I guess. So we can simplify that as well. And then we changed how we render the timeline, and we don't need that anymore, right? Implement timeline dates properly, right? And then we want to simplify the main flow. So the main flow is actually different from that one, right? So we in that one, when we click on something, create event, we prepend the date, and then we we try to render it, and we prepend like that. Well, it's not gonna be like super similar anyway, right? Not gonna be super similar anyway. Yeah, we don't want to simplify here, but we can get rid of extra nested div. That's always a good cause. So we don't need this guy anymore. We can actually append into this guy. I guess. Yeah. So instead of saving div timeline rest like this, we can save div timeline like that and say that this is not needed anymore. And div timeline like that. Yeah, and we can just rename it to div timeline like that. Right. And it should work, I believe. Oh, that's no good. So div timeline append div timeline, that's not needed. Right. And then we can say B, C, and like that. And it's all super cool. Right. Okay. I like that. So we just renamed stuff here, renamed stuff here, and over here we save the reference, we remove the extra nestedness, and use the timeline instead of timeline rest. So that's good. And I use like a separate commit for that to be able to isolate this thing. right? And we're done. We are not done with all the dates yet, so we can actually go ahead and really quickly fix. Where was it? Over here, I guess. No. Where was the date? I guess when we create a timeline date, no, card node. When we create card node and we render this guy, we actually just say that, right? And we want to fix that as well. Make a nice formatted date for the nodes, right? So for the nodes, how we want to do that? Just like, time, and then depending on the date, either like, well, we can just do simply same stuff. Right, so we can say that it will be I like this guy, so I like to locale string actually. This is good actually. This is very good actually. And if it's today, so today I already know how to do, right? We can just have it as a function that we can reuse. Basically put it somewhere here and say function date is today, right? Well, I can even pass today as well. Right. that. And I can just say like this. So if it's today, I want to say today, comma, and then time. If it's today, then I can say like it can be like today, then comma, then it will be just time, I guess. Whoa, that's cool. I already have this guy, so I can just use it, I guess. Like that. Otherwise, it's like that. So it's today and plus. No. Oh, it's comma over here. It's not good. Okay, so I have today, or I could have like yesterday, right? And it would be basically like that. If it's yesterday, I will have like that. Which is fine, I guess. But oh, I don't actually paste the time. So maybe I need time anyway. Like that. Sunday, October 22, year and time. And if it is today, then it's just today. right? So that's good enough. Yesterday, we could do yesterday as well, of course. But for now it's good enough. Okay. Yeah. Now we have good stuff. Now we have good stuff. I would maybe want to have like ability to copy paste the timeline, because now it's hard to select the history and then just paste it somewhere. Well, it's fine. It's like today was, this time was that, and then like, yeah, it's good. Actually, if I just copy like that and pass to some colleague, right, he will be able to understand that, okay, today at this time I changed that, and this time I changed that, and on Friday I changed that. Okay, nice. So, thank you guys very much for being with me today, and I will see you on the next video.